Hi guys, I'm the Dutch Movie Guy, and today I and someone who I will announce in a bit, but you've seen the thumbnail and the title, so I assume you already know. Anyway, today we're reviewing Star Wars Rebels Season 1. This is because Season 3 is coming out soon, and I actually wanted to review both seasons of Rebels that we have so far before Season 3 so I can review Season 3. By the way, in my review series leading up to like Rebels/Rogue One, I already did a review for the Clone Wars, which has quite some tie-ins to Rebels, so you probably should know something about the Clone Wars. If you've missed my review from the Clone Wars, you can click right here to see that one. And don't worry about spoilers, because I don't spoil up until the very end of that video if you've not seen the Clone Wars. Now, this is going to be a little bit different of a review, because as I said, I am reviewing this with someone else. His name is Matt. Like, I know him from a movie group on Facebook, and I found out that he has a channel, he makes reviews, and his reviews are pretty good actually. I saw the reviews he did for the Star Wars prequels. While I don't agree with him on that, I do think he makes good reviews. Therefore I was like, you guys should also see what he has to say about Star Wars, because he has a little bit of a different opinion than me, but he does his reviews well. So here's how this video will go. I will start talking a little bit about Rebels, then Matt will give his full review, and then I'll finish it up, and that's this review. Easy enough, right? And don't worry about spoilers. In this review, we will save that for the second season review. For Season 1, we won't spoil anything. So that's for the people who have not seen Season 1. Anyway, Star Wars Rebels is a TV show on Disney XD, which means, yeah, it's kind of for kids, but you know, it's still Star Wars. I do everything Star Wars. At least I just read a lot, I watch a lot, and I just want to find out everything in the current canon going on. The thing is, because of the fact that I know some of the Star Wars canon, I know there is a book previous to Rebels that actually leads into Rebels. It's this book, A New Dawn, featuring, of course, Canon and Hera. Like, those two are two of the main characters in the Rebels TV show. And like, it's a prequel to it. I have not read it yet. I am still reading another book called Twilight Company. This one. But after I finish Twilight Company, I will definitely get to A New Dawn, because like, it leads into Rebels. Alright, before I continue with my review, first I'll let Matt talk what he has to say about Rebels.
Hello guys, what is up? I'm Matt, and I'm from the YouTube channel MattMovies611. I want to thank my good buddy, the Dutch Movie Guy, for inviting me to come and talk Rebels with you. So, Rebels Season 1 is really interesting, at least my relation to it, because I originally didn't want to watch Rebels because I was a huge Clone Wars fan, and when Clone Wars was cancelled and Rebels was brought in to replace it, I kind of didn't watch it out of spite. Then I watched the Rebels panel and the Season 3 trailer, and I was like, okay, I need to find out what this show is, and I watched it, and I have to tell you guys, Rebels is fantastic. Some of the best animation I've seen in a long time. The story is fantastic. And the characters, I think, is really what works about it. I love this band of rebels who are just going around messing with the Empire because they feel it's the right thing to do. And you see sort of how what they're doing is planting the seeds for the rebellion we see in the original trilogy. I have to say, my favorite character out of the entire show is Canon. I thought he was a really well done character. I liked his backstory, how he was a Jedi who, because of, you know, Order 66 and everything, he had to walk away from the Order at such a young age, and he doesn't feel comfortable with revealing himself as being a Jedi. That is until Ezra sort of starts to show, you know, that he has the Force, and then Kanan decides, you know what, I should come out because I have to train Ezra to be a good Jedi. Ezra, I think, is a really good character too. I like that he's a different protagonist than Luke Skywalker, because I was a little afraid when I started to see the teasers and the trailers for Rebels Season 1, and even watching the first episode, I was like, I really hope they don't repeat the same character of Luke, like, oh, this is the farm boy who finds out he's a Jedi and this. But it's not. Ezra is a completely different character than Luke. I love his energy. He's kind of like a guy who's just gonna leap before looking, and it's so much fun to watch these characters in that band. Like, I liked little stuff like how Zeb's design is actually, if you look at the concept art for Chewbacca, that's where they took it from. And I love that whole crew of Caden, Sabine, Zeb, Hera. They feel like a family. They feel like people who care about each other, and they take in Ezra as a family member. I think this is really fantastic, and it really makes the story more complex because the characters are so good. You're interested in the characters. I have to say, out of Rebels Season 1, my favorite thing was whenever Kanan and the Inquisitor met. That stuff was so cool. Like, the first time it happens, it's just when the Inquisitor pulls out that lightsaber and it's just Kanan battling. I love how the Inquisitor is trying to, like, show Kanan, like, your master isn't all that good. And, like, in a real true sense, Kanan isn't that good. He hasn't fought as a Jedi in years, and he certainly hasn't fought a Sith before, and it's so you kind of just get to see Freddie Prinze Jr., who voices Kanan, actually said something interesting, which is the Inquisitor is kind of Kanan's teacher. Every time him and Kanan meet and fight, it's another lesson, and when Kanan gets beat down, he has to learn. He has to learn from that and move on from it. Overall, I think Rebels Season 1 was really a strong start to this new series, which is fantastic. I do think not every episode is great. The episode where it's just Sabine and Hera, although a good episode, I just found myself not all that interested in it, but overall, the series is fantastic from start to finish. Now that I know the Dutch Movie Guide does a different sort of rating system, so I'll just explain my rating system. I do a rating system on the American alphabet from A+ to an F. An A+ movie or TV show is perfect. I see no problems. And an F is a terrible movie. If you need examples, an A+ movie would be The Empire Strikes Back, and an F would be Catwoman with Halle Berry. I hate that movie. So I'm gonna give Star Wars Rebels Season 1 an A. Just a really great show. I can't wait to talk Season 2 with you guys, and I want to again thank my good buddy, the Dutch Movie Guy, for inviting me here to talk Star Wars about it. If you guys like me in this video, I really hope you come and subscribe to my channel, MattMovies611. I am actually currently doing reviews for all the Star Wars movies. Alright, so see you guys around, and may the Force be with you.
Alright, thank you, Matt, for your thoughts, and like he said, go check out his channel. He's doing the Star Wars movies, even though I don't really agree with him on certain movies. Prequels. Sorry. He is a good reviewer, and like, he knows his Star Wars. So anyway, now I'll continue with my review. The thing is, I actually really like this first season. This first season really felt like the original trilogy again. It didn't feel like the prequels. Therefore, I was really grateful that it was not that much of prequels. Still, it does have certain aspects from the prequels. It has tie-ins to Clone Wars, of course, and like, of course, you will see a little bit of the aftermath of Episode 3. However, they do most of the things that they have from the prequels right. Most of the things. Not all of the things, but most of the things. And the thing is, like, the producer of this show and also Clone Wars, Dave Filoni, I've seen interviews with that guy. He knows his Star Wars, and therefore we have this amazing show. So, like, Dave Filoni is one of my favorite people right now because he makes this great show. Now, why do I love the show so much? I agree with Matt on the fact that this group of rebels is a great group of characters. I actually love these characters. He loves Kanan and Ezra. I also do. But I prefer Hera in this case, and I have my reasons for that. What I really like about Hera is that she kind of is the leader, along with Canon, but mostly Hera is the leader of this group of rebels, and it is because she's the daughter of Cham Syndulla. Cham Syndulla was a guy introduced in the Clone Wars TV series, and also there is a book about him. This book, Lords of the Sith, is about Cham Syndulla and Lord Vader and the Emperor. If you've not read it, it's amazing. So that's another recommendation to read. But the thing is that I know Cham from that book and from Clone Wars. And now to see that his daughter is doing a little bit what he did, because like he wanted to get rid of the Empire, that's basically what Hera also does, and that's where the rebellion comes from. Like Hera and her group of misfits that she is with, but Hera has this connection between the actual people involved with the rebellion, like Bail Organa and those kind of people, and then you really see in this show the beginning of the rebellion. This really is the beginning of what we see in Star Wars when they actually have to base in a lot of people in the rebellion. So therefore, like, I like Hera a lot because of the fact that she's that connection. She's this leader type in this group, and like, she's a great character. She has some episodes for herself. The episodes that she's in may not be all that great, I will admit that, but I just love her as a character very much. And because of the fact that this is the beginning of the rebellion, you also see a little bit more of the Empire. And what I really quite like about this first season is that we see a little bit more about how things go on in the Empire. Like, we see their academy, we see people trained to be Imperials and Stormtroopers, which I think is really cool. Also, that is something that I've read before in another book. Don't worry, this will be my last plug of this review. Lost Stars. Absolutely fantastic book. Really engaging. And that shows more of the Imperials, so I'd also recommend that. Anyway, that was my last book plug, but the thing is that I really like it when you actually see the other side. What do people not associated with rebels think of the Empire? What does the Empire think of itself, and how does the Empire view the rebels? Like, the Empire actually views the rebels as terrorists. That's something that you would not really get from the movies, but in this show and in that book, I know that, and that is what I really love, that you actually see multiple psychologies going on, like the way that people view things, because that's something that the movies never really go into, and it basically means that you never really understand what the Empire is coming from. In this case, I do. Now, I have a little bit more issues with this show than Matt does, and I don't really know why that is. I just have those issues a little bit more. One of the issues is it's a kids show, and because of the fact that it's a kids show, the Stormtroopers are even more incapable, yes, that's possible, than the movies. I honestly don't know how they did it, but there are just some of these moments that you have someone just literally like 10 meters away from a Stormtrooper. The Stormtrooper is aiming right at him, and he still misses. He still is like shooting all other ways, and it's not there. It's like, how the hell can the Stormtroopers be so incredibly incapable? It's always baffling. Like, it was already baffling in the movies, but especially in this show. And that's basically because, like, oh, the characters can't die, but we have to have some kind of trouble. So for kids, it will seem that it's so really scary and I don't know what. But, like, I'm looking at them just like, honestly, I could hit better than those Stormtroopers. It's really insane. And one small issue that I have with Star Wars Rebels Season 1 that is not necessarily a big issue, but just something that bothered me while watching, it does not have a whole lot of tie-ins. It has like certain cameos of movie related people, like you have Vader at one point, you get R2 and 3PO, and it's like, it's cool to have those, but like when I was watching the first season of Rebels, I was like, so how does this tie into the movies? And I get that they're trying to do their own thing, and that's perfectly fine, but I would have liked a little bit more of a tie-in to the movies, and I was just always like, you could tie it in with the movies somewhat here and here, but you know, it's a minor complaint. Anyway, that's really all I can say about Star Wars Rebels Season 1. I will give it an 8 out of 10. Like, yeah, I do have my issues with it, but the issues are not that big, and I overall really quite like this show. Now, the thing is, I said that I want to review Season 3, which means I will be doing reviews for every episode of Season 3. Season 3 will premiere the 25th of September, that's a Saturday, and then every week on a Saturday that will premiere. That means that I will have my review up on Sunday. So every week when Star Wars Rebels starts, my Sunday review will be a review for the latest episode of Rebels. So I think that would be cool. Anyway, I will be back next week for Rebels Season 2. I will also do that review with Matt. And now I wonder, after Season 1, what do you think of it? Like, do you like it as much as we do? Or maybe do you have some issues with it? Please, whatever you think, let me know in the comments below. Once again, check out Matt's channel because he's a really good reviewer and he knows his Star Wars but also his other movies, so he knows his stuff. He's a good reviewer. Check him out. Definitely do that. And as always, if you've liked my review, you want to see more of my movie and trailer reviews, click right here.